Hi, everyone, and welcome to another interview in the Future Proof Your Law Firm group. Today, I am very excited to have Alexander Tsiring with us today. Alexander, thank you so much for being here.
Sure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, definitely. So, why don't we start this interview like I start most of mine with giving us, if you could give us a brief introduction on yourself, your firm, a little bit of your background, that would be great.
All right. Sure. Of course. So I've been practicing law for over 15 years. I have established my own practice over 13 years ago, and I am the managing partner and the founding partner of Tsiring and Feldman. Our firm has two partners, one associate and support staff. And we are mainly engaged in immigration law, family law. We also practice some general civil litigation, a little bit of real estate, but mainly our concentration and expertise is in immigration and family law.
Gotcha. And is this something you always knew you wanted to get into, being a lawyer, something your family kind of pushed you? What's the background on that?
I certainly knew from a very long time ago that I want to be a lawyer. And it's definitely something that I knew I would try to pursue, and I did, and I'm happy I did. And this is something I really enjoy doing, and practice of law is pretty much my passion.
Gotcha. That's very cool. So, and I'm sorry, how long have you had your firm for?
I have my own practice for about 13 years now, and I've been practicing for about 16 years. I used to work for litigation immigration firms in New York City before opening my own practice, but for the past about 14 years, I've been practicing on my own.
Gotcha.
First,
Okay.
first it was as a solo practitioner, and then we have expanded, and now we have two, as I mentioned before, we have two partners and associate.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's very interesting. So I'd love to know how kind of, a thing that we talk a lot about on the show is how COVID affected your firm, and, what are maybe some challenges you guys had to go through? How did you overcome those challenges? Maybe some changes you had to make?
Certainly. Well, first of all, as I mentioned before, we are from New York City, which was hit very hard by the COVID. And definitely at the very first stages, we shut down pretty much as every other business in New York City. We were working remotely for the major part of the shutdown in New York City. But after a few weeks that we pretty much didn't just know where it goes and what to do and what not, we basically started to get back on track. We started to work remotely. We started to see clients remotely. We pretty much changed our practice to the extent that we allowed Zoom consultation rather than in-person consultation. We allowed to sign documents electronically with our clients. We've been exchanging all the information and all the documents that we need electronically. And then pretty much it took about a few weeks, but we were back on track working on all the client cases. We're accepting new clients, even though there were no personal meetings, obviously given the situation. But as I said, we were doing Zoom meetings, Skype meetings, electronic signatures, and pretty much we just use all available communication methods that are available now and are available then to continue working on the cases, to continue serving the clients.
Gotcha. No, that's awesome. I'm glad you guys have been able to kind of push through that. What is some of the most important technology that you think you've put in place for your firm that has kind of helped you guys be able to kind of survive the time? Maybe it's just Zoom, but I know a lot of firms have kind of used some other technologies, whether it's, different applications or different digital marketing strategies. What are some things that you found have been beneficial that others might find beneficial as well?
Well, the most important things for us during that time was certainly Zoom, Skype, video conference opportunities that we used. So any technology that we could use, as I said, Skype, Zoom, Microsoft Meet, we downloaded right away all these programs, we installed these programs, we allowed these programs pretty much to help us through. That's as far as the contact with clients. We certainly used a lot of, we certainly had a lot of use from PDF, sharing documents, e-signing documents, changing documents without need to basically get the documents personally and work with them in the office. So that was pretty much the second technology that we used PDF before, obviously, but we definitely extended the use of it and all other services that the Adobe provides. And the third thing, go ahead.
Oh, no. Finish what you were saying.
Oh, okay. And the third thing that we implemented, I believe 2 or 3 months later, was we have changed our phone systems, and I believe that was a very important step. We changed it to the internet voice over IP phone system, which also has a mobile application. So that allows us to receive calls, make calls, send faxes pretty much remotely from any computer, from any phone, from any cell phone, from everywhere and anywhere. And that was a very important technology change that we have made, which allowed us pretty much to communicate without need to be physically in the office.
Oh yeah, no, that sounds like that would be very important for sure. And I think it's going to be much more commonplace that these new technologies start getting put into place within firms more and more. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to have these interviews with attorneys to kind of share some light on some of the things that are working for you guys. Another thing that I know a lot of people are interested to talk about is just in terms of growing a firm and acquiring new clients. I know referrals is kind of the name of the game and some of the best ways to get clients. However, are there any other kind of modern marketing kind of strategies you guys have put into place, whether it's online advertising or networking events you go to, things like that, to acquire clients?
Yes, certainly. We expanded our online presence, which includes website optimization. We actually basically remodeled, rebuilt our website quite recently. We make it more modern. We make it more accessible to the clients. So we work on that during that time. We certainly expanded our online presence by Google means that Google provides, being their search engine optimization and local listings and some other technical things that our online marketing firms work on. And that's certainly something that we work more and more on these days, because again, given the situation and given that there are less clients that just walk past the office and come in, obviously we cannot just rely on the referrals, even though I must say that pretty much at least half of our new clients are referrals. So it's certainly, if not more than that, so it is certainly a very good indications that our clients are very happy with us, but we still try to grow, we still try to expand. So we pretty much explore all the opportunities besides the referrals that we can find.
Gotcha. No, that definitely makes sense. I'm just to kind of dive into that. Are there any other like places you're looking to grow or expand into the future? I know you said that you've tried a lot of different things. Are there some areas that you haven't tried yet that you're looking to get into, or maybe some methods that weren't working out as well and you're going to try a different path?
Well, I know that there are major law firm, not law firm, major law companies that provide leads to the attorneys. We have tried some of those. Most of them didn't work out. Some of them do. So we will look into maybe expanding those, though it's not yet our main source of new clients, but it's certainly something that might work in the future. So we're looking into that. and that is pretty much it.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, no, I appreciate you sharing. And so in the future for you guys, where do you see your firm growing? Are you looking to expand into other states or other practice areas? What does kind of the 1 year and 5 year plan look like for Searing and Feldman PC?
We certainly look at both directions. We are expanding our firm, and we are just now opening another office in Florida. So we will be handling immigration cases there. So as far as geographical expansion, yes, we're planning to have two offices, one in New York City, one in Florida. So that's one step. As far as growing client-based in our practice, we certainly see a lot of potential in immigration law. I anticipate, even though we don't know for sure, obviously, yet, but I anticipate that with the new government and the new president, there will be major changes made at some point as far as the immigration law and practice concerned. And I do expect that there will be major changes, which obviously will require a lot of work, and a lot of new clients might need attorneys' helps on that. So we definitely looking into that, obviously.
Gotcha. No, that's awesome. I'm glad you guys are looking into that, and I wish you the best of luck with all of that. I know opening a location. Is there a reason why you decided to go down to Florida?
Well, we do travel quite often to Florida, and so we have presence there. That's one thing. The other thing is that we've noticed that there is a lot of within the U.S. migration to Florida now. So the state is growing, and there are a lot of immigrants are going to Florida as well. So we figured it might be a good market for our firm.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, no, I think I would definitely agree with that. It is kind of a trend of people heading down there. So, well, thank you so much for everything you've shared today, Alexander. I really appreciate it. My final question for you today is, what is one last piece of advice that you would share to a individual attorney or somebody who's looking to step off on their own that's maybe struggling right now, whether it's struggling with their own practice, struggling to get clients, struggling to adapt? What's one last piece of advice that you could share with them?
I would say that the most important thing as far as growing the practice, or as far as starting the practice, is to realize what practice area this particular attorney knows well, first of all, and can get clients second. Because even if I am a great, for example, patent attorney, and I know patents and everything else, but I have no access and I have nobody to give me patent work, just because I know this field wouldn't help me. So an attorney, at least a new attorney who just starts their own practice, need to realize whether or not they have some niche that they can work on, whether they have some advantage maybe over other attorneys in that particular field or in that particular niche, and they can use it to their advantage.
Yeah, no, I would totally agree with that. I think having a niche is definitely very beneficial for sure. Allows you to kind of stick out from the crowd and become well known in one particular area. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely,
Oh
absolutely.
yeah. Well, thank you so much, Alexander. Like I said, I really appreciate it. If anybody wants to learn more about you guys, your firm, what you're working on, where could they go to find out more?
They can go on our website, which provides a lot of information and background about our firm, about our services, and about our attorneys personally. So that's a very good source of information. I believe there are, I think there are even some YouTube videos about our firm. Can't say off the top of my head exactly where to find them, but I'm sure Googling it will help.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right. And I will make sure to include the link to your website. If anybody has, any questions, they can go in there and check it out. So thank you everybody for watching. Again, really appreciate you being here. We'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.
My pleasure.